As January came to a close, Scotty Bowman's club continued to dominate the West Division. The Blues carried a 17-point lead into Pittsburgh, plus a string of 18 games against division foes without a loss. The Penguins had been tough all year long, and with the score 1-1 in the final period, it was still anybody's hockey game.
Schock on the face-off, lost the draw to Burns. Burns cleared it, but Picard holds it in. Picard shot! Just missed. A backhand shot by Schock. Hit the defense. Schock in the corner, trying to center it out. Picard is there too. Goes to Jimmy Roberts. Roberts takes the pass to Henry. Henry back to Roberts. The net is empty. A shot. Schock takes the shot. He scores! Ron Schock, as Binkley was out of position at the other side of the goal crease. And the Blues go ahead 2-1, scoring with the Penguins playing 2 men short.
That was the final, 2-1. The Blues brought their monopoly to 19 in a row without a loss to West Division teams and returned home to meet the Rangers. The West Division leaders were trailing by 1 goal and were shorthanded when the Red Barons showed the jam-packed arena crowd just how it should be done.
Picard knocks Rattel down and McCreary comes up with the puck. McCreary to Berenson, then across the line. Berenson in on goal. He shoots. He scores! Red Berenson, a beautiful move as he took Billy McCreary's pass, walked around Rod Gilbert, walked right in on goal, and beat Ed Jackman as he pulled him out to tie it at 2-2 while the Blues were playing a man short.
St. Louis eventually succumbed to the Rangers 4-3, but Berenson's goal was perhaps the picture move of the year. In February, key games against the tough East clubs gave the Blues added momentum in their drive towards the Clarence S. Campbell Bowl. Glenn Hall blanked the Red Wings in Detroit. Captain Al Arbor provided the winner against Toronto. And the Blues ganged up to stop red-hot Boston. A 4-4 tie with Montreal, just when it appeared that the Blues had finally broken that Canadian jinx, nevertheless added a big point to the Blues' league-leading margin. With their Western unbeaten streak ended at 19 in a row earlier in the month, the Blues began to run through their division mates once more. Glenn Hall, who had put their goaltending duo just 1 shy of a league record, was in goal against the North Stars when strange things began to happen.
Berenson goes down, and the fans are hollering, and they're going to get a penalty. Glenn Hall comes out of his own net, picks up the puck at center, gets it ahead to Terry Crisp. He scores! Terry Crisp! Listen to this crowd! Glenn Hall was on his way on a delayed penalty from the goal. As he was, the puck come out to the St. Louis blue line. Glenn picked it up. He did not go to the bench to be replaced. He laid a beautiful pass over to Terry Crisp, who was streaking in on the Minnesota blue line. Crisp walked in all alone, let a beautiful 14-inch shot, though, 14 inches off the ice, that hit the lower left-hand corner behind Bowman. So Glenn Hall gets an assist.
Not only did Mr. Goalie pick up an assist in perhaps one of hockey's most unusual plays, but he grabbed a league-leading 8th shutout and registered the team's 13th of the year, tying a league record. 3 nights later, the red-hot Blues, 23 points in first place, clinched a playoff spot with a win over the Flyers. 7 games later, they returned home to capture the West Division title by eliminating second-place Oakland 5-2. The Blues had clearly proven their superiority in their division. At the season's end, they boasted of the league's best goaltending in Vezina Trophy winners Plante and Hall, the division's top scorer in Red Berenson, and the West's premier defenseman in Al Arbor. The Blues, drawing the fast-finishing Flyers in the opening round of the playoffs, quickly proved that the postseason activities were to be no different. Goaltender Jacques Plante, forced to play all but 10 minutes of the first game due to an injury to Glenn Hall, was magnificent. Jake had posted 2 shutouts, the Blues had swept the first 3 games, and the Flyers were clinging to the ropes in game number 4.
Keenan giving it over to Crisp on the right side. Crisp in over the blue line, gets a shot on goal. Tearing in for the rebound is Keenan. Right in front, Crisp shoots, he scores! Harry Crisp combining with Larry Keenan
as they were playing 5 men aside and putting St. Louis into the lead 2-0. Now Roberts has it at the point. A drive. He scores! Jimmy Roberts with a drive from the right point, just a foot inside the blue line, let one go waist high and scored. And St. Louis is into a 3-0 lead. And we've only played 4 minutes and 22 seconds.
That was the knockout punch, the final score 4-1, and the Blues had raced through the Flyers in 4 straight. The Los Angeles Kings, upset winners in a tough 7-game series with Oakland, were next, and the Red Baron gave a quick indication how the series would wind up. We're in the second period of the first game at the arena.
Bob Plager holds it in, gets it to Berenson. Back for Bob Plager to Henry at the side of the net. Camille Henry to Berenson. He scores! Red Berenson set up beautifully by Camille Henry after Bob Plager had made another good play at the left point. Keenan has the puck behind the net, gives it to Berenson, and Berenson starts out of a zone. Blues have the man advantage. Berenson across the line, slap shot, another shot, he scores! The Red Baron scoring to make it 3-0 for the Blues. And again, this crowd at the arena in St. Louis are up. Crisp checked him. Crisp clearing it on the boards up the center, races after it himself. In across the line, Crisp, a pass to Berenson, he scores! Red Berenson gets the hat trick, and the Blues go ahead, 4-0. On a fine play by Terry Crisp as he set up the speeding Red Baron, who cut in front of that net and just deflected Crisp's goal-mouth pass in behind Jerry Desjardins. And again, the crowd stands and sings.
Red's hat trick, all in 1 period, tied an NHL Stanley Cup record. Jacques Plante was too much for Los Angeles, and the Blues went 1 up, 4-0. 2 nights later, it looked like the Kings might pull a surprise as they fought back from a 2-0 deficit to tie up the contest, but once more the Blues showed their superiority.
White shoots it to center ice. Talbot has it there for the Blues. Talbot for St. Louis. Carrying back in across the line to Berenson. Berenson, slap shot! Rutledge made the save! Sabourin gets the rebound! Gary Sabourin scores after Rutledge and made a great save on Berenson. Sabourin flipped the rebound in behind the Kings goaltender, and the Blues go ahead 3-2. Listen to this crowd.
It continued to be all St. Louis in the final 2 games on the coast. The Blues successfully defended their division playoff championship, sweeping their rivals in an amazing 8 straight games. Scotty Bowman and his team were now faced with preparing for the tough task of meeting the winner of the Boston-Montreal series in the Stanley Cup final. Both East Division teams had excellent records through the regular season, and either one would be heavy favorites over the Blues in the finals. Montreal held a 3-2 series edge, with the 6th game in Boston going into a second overtime and sudden death. Here's Bob Wilson, the voice of the Boston Bruins, with that game's closing moments.
Esposito controls the draw to Hodge, who puts it behind the net for Green in the Boston zone. Green coming out on the left wing, drops it in front of the crease for Ori. Ori off the left side, gives it away to Provo. Provo steps around Ori, in front of Beliveau. Beliveau shot, score! The game is over. Boston's out of it. John Beliveau wins the series for Montreal in the second overtime, and the crowd is stunned.
Once more, it would be the St. Louis Blues and the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals. Even though the Blues had yet to take a decision for Montreal in 2 years of competition, the classy Canadiens clearly indicated that they were not about to take this series lightly. The object was their 16th Stanley Cup win, and the Habs were out to take it. The Blues and Jacques Plante fell victims 3-1 in the first encounter at the Forum, and 2 days later, with Glenn Hall in goal, it was more of the same.
Now it's back on the point to Savard from the face-off. Into the corner for Beliveau. Beliveau stick handles, closes in for a shot. It hit Plager and deflected wide. Duff in the corner. Out for Cournoyer. Back for Duff. Cournoyer back on the point to Savard for Beliveau. Beliveau in front to Duff. He shoots. He scores! Dick Duff made no mistake. Set up beautifully in front of the net. got it high into the top right-hand corner as the Canadians threw that puck around beautifully.